Welcome, guys, to Rebel Rock. I am Dan. In the middle is Nick Grandchamp, and on the end there is Richard Bryan Kahn.
The best crew and rock and roll talk show in the Northeast, and I'm calling it, at least in the Northeast.
15, son.
It is
Damn right.
And today we're going to be doing something fun. We're going to be talking about 5 of my favorite bands I ever toured with. So if I toured with them, played shows with them, that's what we're going to talk about. That's going to be the headliner tonight. But before then, we're just going to hang out and always shoot the shit like we like to. Kind of catch up, see what's going on, see if there's any new music in your lives. Anything new, music-wise, guys.
So listen, I'll start off just real quick. So had a couple of days off, had Sunday, Monday off. Sarah and I went, my wife and I went down to Bennington, Vermont. We did a little thrifting down there. Went to the Goodwill down there, a couple other stores. There's a retro game store down there. And I picked up a couple commons, some common NES games, actually, just for fun. I picked up this. Yeah, I know it's terrible.
It's
terrible.
Yeah.
I just wanted some commons. I'm not going to spend a lot of bucks. I paid what?
Not bad. That one's a decent game.
$4 for each. So just try to get some commons. But now have you guys watched this? And I have not seen it. In fact, I didn't even know they made it, but I bought it. I bought it just because I didn't know. And let me know, guys, in the comment section if you've seen this. All right? Home Alone, Taking Back the House. So this came out in the 2000s. So this was after number 3. This is maybe part 4. Never heard of it before. And it's terrible. Everyone says this is even worse than number, 3? When they changed everyone.
I mean, I watched it. I didn't think it was the worst.
Really? Okay. Well,
maybe it has Frenchie Stewart in it. Maybe is it? I think it is. That's one on the top.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes,
I've seen that. That's not a terrible movie. It's
all right.
funny.
I've never seen
Nickelodeon
it.
Guy, Frenchie Stewart. Was he on Nickelodeon or something?
No, yeah, there was a sitcom? He was on. Was it 30 Rock from the Sun or
something like that?
I think it might have been one of those shows. Will and Grace, one of those big sitcoms.
Weird.
So yeah, I just took some pictures, got a couple thrift items, and today, real quick, before I give to our gay, I've got something cool from a customer. A whole box of games, and my friend Mark brought them in. He was been talking about giving them to me. Just gave me and showed you a picture of it, Dad. Had some Burger King games, a couple NES games.
Yeah, well, you got the whole Burger King set of 360 games now, all 3 of them.
Yeah, we got all of them. So it's pretty nice. RBK, how was your weekend? That's enough for me. I had a good one.
I was off 2 days. It's great.
Nice.
The festival last weekend tore me up. So
Ripped you apart.
Yeah, I worked 6 days of that. It was brutal. And I recovered. I came back today, luckily for them.
Well, you found some records the other day. Found some 45s.
Oh yeah, found you that Bruce and
the Bay City Rollers.
Yeah.
Oh, the 45.
They'll be in your box. And up on that James Brown, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Anytime you can find a James Brown 45 too.
Out here, they're reachable, but
I actually had the last 4 days off, and that was my vacation. My summer vacation was 4 days in a row having it off. So that's what I'm getting, I guess. It was good. It's over. I spent way too much money on. I bought a new shelf, as you can see behind me, from IKEA. Holds all the records now. I got everything thrown in there, so that feels good.
You went big IKEA.
Went to Bull Moose and bought some records. I got
nice.
Apocalypse 91, Public Enemy. That's probably my favorite record by Public Enemy. So finally got that. And I got Like a Motherfucker, Johnny Thunders. Because it was record store day on Saturday. I didn't realize that. I went on Sunday. So that's how I found some leftover record store day stuff. So that was pretty exciting.
They have two record store days now. One in the summer and one like after Thanksgiving, around that time.
I have that Prince from the last one that saved from like an acoustic album. Yeah, come out, saved. I haven't been down there. Sorry.
No, that's it. I did pick up the new Dinosaur Jr. record on vinyl, purple vinyl. Pretty good. It's really good. And I got a couple CDs. I got a bunch of like indie rock stuff, a couple Weezer records, a couple like CDs, a couple. There's this really cool like local dude that's been doing it since like the 80s around here. He was in a couple of those B movies I was talking to you before we went live. His name's Rick Reddington, and he's pretty cool. He still drives around in his van. He's like he's like an old rock and roll dude. Like he's got a van. It says Rick Reddington. Like it's pretty cool. So I found a couple of his CDs at the music store, like from the early 90s, and I got that. Oh, Jeffrey, what's up?
Jeff's in the house. We got Lincoln. We got the usual suspects this week. We got GW.
GW.
He's been out there hitting the circuit on the comedy front.
He's now New York City, and then he's fucking out doing it. We love you, GW.
He did a comedy show. Where was it? Was it No, it wasn't Tunbridge. Was it Bridgewater or Tunbridge? It was one or the other. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know how you even do comedy in those spots. But if you did it, GW, that's more power to you because that's crazy.
That's a cool spot up there. I've been wanting to go up there for a show. It's a really cool spot.
Lincoln hit up the shops too. It looks like Music Connection is a cool shop, and Pitchfork Records is incredible in Concord.
I've never been. Is it cool?
It is. You can find all kinds of. The prices are really good, and it's a lot of stuff you don't normally see, especially if you like the bubblegum pop stuff. I was able to swoop up a ton of it for real cheap last time. It was Bridgewater. Yeah.
The home of the infamous cop that's no longer giving tickets. I was talking about, I think, on the show a couple of weeks back, that one town in Vermont that's made more money giving people tickets than like all of the towns combined. It was like that bad.
Well, it's a speed trap, it's like 50, and then you hit this little town for all of 45 seconds to drive through it, and then it's pop. That cop just hangs there. Yeah, smart.
And I think he got in a lot of trouble though. People were like, "Yo, that shit's fucked." And the thing is with him, if you were 5 over, that's it. You're getting pulled over. Like it was not even, and you always got a ticket. No warnings. If you saw red light or if you saw blue lights flashing, guaranteed ticket. You're not getting a warning. No. Grandma's not getting a warning. All right, grandma listen to fucking Born to Run, blasting it, ain't getting no warning. Just not happening.
And GW saying they upped the speed limit.
Oh, wow, 30.
Like before it was like 20 or something. It was ridiculous.
Well, damn right. So now you can go 34 without getting a ticket.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. So I spent some money. I found some records. I found an Eddie Grant record. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Eddie Grant. He's the one that did Electric Avenue. So that's a cool record to find, especially for $3. I got a stack of them over there, but we're not gonna bust through all those. We're not gonna bust through those.
It's been real beat for me. I don't have like nothing to show. It's been scraps lately. I just don't even have the time to go every day, and there's nothing there anyway. So
you got to sift the bottom,
That's what I was saying. I'm still thinking people still trying to like make their own business and do the side hustle, which from COVID, man, people losing money and going back to their parents' house, man. They're like, all right, mom and dad, don't worry. Sell these fucking Nikes on eBay, and I'm going to give you your damn rent. Your $50 rent because they're not charging much. Mom and dad, just give me $50. Jerk off in your basement. At least give me $50.
It's funny because before COVID, I had never like shown up to a thrift store when it opened, and then like during COVID and when they opened again, like I would show up because I wasn't working.
Right.
I want to go when they open. I never did that shit before, and there would be people in line already.
See,
That's why I never did that anyways to begin with.
the trick with mine, I don't know how all thrift stores do it, but the trick with my thrift store that I like going to is that if you go when they open, you're shit out of luck because they haven't put the shit out yet.
True.
They don't with my thrift store, they usually don't put it out to around lunchtime. Time they get all the stuff and start tagging it.
Mhm.
So like they open at 9 or 10, but you got to give them an hour or two, start tagging shit and throw it out. So that sweet spot's like from 11 to 2. And you got to kind of, but again, I see the same people, like you say, you probably will see the same 4 or 5 people, and they don't need shit. They're just up there looking. They're on their phones,
I see those people when I walk in, and I'm like, dang, like they're here.
Yeah, the short
Yeah.
Like, you know you're not going to find anything great.
you already know.
Like, thankfully, like I'm into music, and I don't find video games anymore, barely anything. But like movies and music, I can still find that stuff.
A
But
little bit,
people
yeah.
grabbing that stuff, so it's like whatever's there.
Yeah, it's true. No, the whole music thing, I think that especially for us knowing a lot of music, you can usually walk out of the store with something because this area is there's just no one that gives a shit about music or on the level that we probably appreciate it. So
Yeah.
you're always going to find a deep dive, a Moondogs out there, waiting.
The thing is, it's like take the risk on something too, because like if you can find something that if someone's only looking to sell it on eBay, you can take a risk on something, get sit there forever. Like, all right, fuck it, I've been looking at this weirdo band out for 50 cents. I'll buy it this time. It's weird. It's weird. But another thing that I was thinking of. Another thing I was thinking of with all this shit going on with music and all this stuff. How are they going to stop? How are they going to stop? Now that all these shows are announced, right? How are they going to stop this train from going on if this fucking the second coming of COVID, the worst? How are they going to stop all these shows now that things are rolling again? The variant. Like, I've been seeing, because I work at the store, people with more masks on because this variant, everyone took them off. And the last week, like the last 3 days, they're back on. So I'm like, all right, you got fucking tours booked. Insane. I don't know how they're going to, like, now that it's going again, it's like, you ever think about it, it's like, it's just, there's no stopping it. Is there?
No. I mean, we could get political and all that stuff, but we know the reality of this isn't going away anytime soon, and especially since the nation is divided in half on their views on this stuff. So it's
it'll never, viruses never go away. It's just like
that's the thing. Yeah.
Sick from them if you come in contact with them. That's why you take vaccines. But
right.
I've been lucky. I took them years ago, and I just feel, I haven't. Not that I'm like an anti-vax or anything. I'm just going to wait because I haven't been made to do it by my job, which I would have definitely just did to make them happy. I haven't done it yet, so
we'll see with all these shows, man. Because
and shows, and you're traveling around. That's like a little different.
I just don't know. If like these shows were already booked.
It's all way too much. If I was like in a full-time band right now, I'd be like,
everybody,
time out. I don't even know. Like, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to just get back out there. I don't know. I would be really, really slow in getting back into it. I mean, and same with River City Rebels. In some ways, it's good that I can't get out of work because I got no one to work for me. So we're on hold, basically because of me at this point, because I can't get the free time to get to a rehearsal. So, and in some ways, that's good. Maybe that buys a little bit more time. But
we get that record done, though. We are, which is going to be awesome.
No, it's true.
Traveling will be hard, definitely, on people.
Baltimore Retro Gaming, he's been buying more CDs than games at the flea market.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Take them.
I wish there was a bigger community of CD collectors out there that you could kind of network with and trade with, because I mean it seems like a small community. Maybe there's more people out there. I don't know where they are. But you know, because you're always finding good stuff, but it's like it's hard to find a good home for that stuff that they would appreciate.
Mad rap CDs.
There, you know, and
Baltimore Metro. You need to hit me up.
There's so many ways to organize them, but I think it's one of those things that I don't know. As all three of us are collectors, right? And maybe we don't all view it this way, but okay. So we're collecting music, vinyl. We're collecting video games, right? We're collecting VHSs. So when we get to the point where we're like, oh shit, we're collecting a lot of cool stuff, but something has to go. Now, so what's the first that you're not looking at your vinyl? You're not saying, all right, unless you need the money. I'm talking, you know. So then it goes down to CDs and VHS. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, if I got to clear something out, it might be the CDs, you know? I know it's kind of one of those things, you know.
CDs aren't worth as much, so you know what I mean. It's like trading like penny candy,
right?
You know, it's like I'll give you a hot ball for that,
right?
Tootsie Roll, pretty much.
It's true too, but like in the sense of like space, you know. I mean, unless you have a lot of space, or well, it's hard, man. It's hard to kind of be like, all right, but then again, you know, there's shit you're never gonna find again. You know, you always find that Matchbox 20 CD somewhere laying at, you know, you're never going to find that fucking, you know, whatever, a local band CD. Like, that's it. I mean, all my bands have always did like a run of like 100, 200 CDs at most. You know what I mean? So whatever's out there, it's fucking out. You know, I think 200, we used to do runs of 200. So whatever. Yep.
He's loving the rap albums. Yeah. I mean, it's always good to find. I found a bunch. I found like later Cypress Hill.
Oh, nice.
But I tried to listen to it. It ain't good. It ain't good.
I think like Skull and Bones. I think it was their fifth one. That's like where I kind of left off. But 1 through 4 is great.
Yeah, the early stuff I always loved. Was it Black Sunday was the big one?
Yeah.
Which you can't beat that. But yeah, the later stuff, they ran out. They had nothing to say. And I found later Snoop Dogg stuff too, and I'm like, I don't know if I really need this, but I grabbed it.
But West Coast definitely copied it. They had that weed beat going. That's what West Coast was like. That's what we need. You know, Ice Cube stole from them, obviously.
Yeah.
At least they're friends now. Nobody got shot.
Well, what do you think? Should we get into the topic at hand?
I think so. So this week's episode, we're going over 5 of my favorite bands to tour with. Some of these bands I did long tours with. Some of these bands were just a few shows, but all very, very special in different ways. I'm curious to get you guys' take on some of these bands, and maybe you've never heard them before. So it'll be fun. I think we're going to have some fun. The first band that I'm going to play and show you guys is one of my all-time favorites, a band that I grew up with in high school. I skipped out on my prom to go see these guys.
That's awesome.
That's how dedicated I was to these guys. Wonderful rockabilly band. It's called the Amazing Royal Crowns. And I never got to tour with them, but I did get to play a few shows with them, which was always, you know, just a treat, because being a mega fan and being like the high school kid, you know, that starts his own band that's inspired by this, and now I'm playing on the same stage with him. Mind blown. You know how that stuff works, where it doesn't seem real. But yeah, we're gonna fire it up right now. So this is Amazing Royal Crowns from 1997 in Texas. So we're gonna play it right now. Here we go.
All night long, just looking at the door. Every time to the left, it's killing you. But now you're looking for hope, it's all these two. so flat, shiver in the corner, so tired and left. Black breeze from the street, don't let it come. Say dead, don't let it go down. Nobody do your shit, lucky way. Take away another day, we got a bad hey. Make the place go around, you know so fast. Shiver in the corner, so tired and left. Another 60 time of their square life, looking for kicks, and we'll set you fucking right. I don't want to talk to you out of something you're too hip to do. We don't want to talk you out of something you're too cool to do. Black leaf of the sea, turn it down. Say that you look good down.
Yeah.
All right.
The Crowns. I actually saw them open a long time ago with Tiger Army, that band Tiger Army.
Yep.
Remember that band? Forever ago. It was one of those shows Punk Dave took me to, which he's, the dude around here, Punk Dave, super into rockabilly, super into that whole style. Yeah, Tiger Army. He kind of got me into them. I'm pretty sure they open. I mean, we're going back. We're going back a long time ago.
Are you feeling it, Richard Bryan Con?
It's cool, man. I loved it. I would like to be there. I like the look. It was fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love
I
the
mean,
guitar part look was like cracking me up with that big guitar, that Epiphone.
Oh yeah, it was all as traditional with the upright bass. That was Jack Swinger on the bass. That was the Colonel on the guitar. That was King Kendall on the vocals. So it was like they had it all.
They had a gimmick, yeah.
Whole package, and they brought the heat, from Providence, Rhode Island, and so easily one of the when I shared a stage with them, I mean, I felt like I wanted to cry. It was that,
Yeah, it's cool. It's huge. It's always huge, especially when you look up to them. Jesus, Amazing Crowds. Wow, they're expensive because they're probably not a lot out.
Yeah, there's a couple 45s. I have one of them, but yeah, there's another one I didn't get. But yeah,
Lincoln, you're awesome, dude. Fucking doing all this shit. That's awesome. Jesus, I wish I was like connected. Well, the internet wasn't as big when I was your age, but that's fucking awesome. You're doing all that stuff, getting into music like that. That's cool.
Next band I'm gonna play is a band from the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania area. I remember playing a show with these guys in Wilkes-Barre, and they played before us, and it was at one of the lowest moments of the River City Rebels. We just didn't have our shit together. The lineup wasn't great, and these guys blew us off the stage. It was embarrassing. Like, I just sat there and watched, and I was like, that's not good. It didn't happen very often where I felt like, nope, it ain't happening tonight. I felt like we let a lot of people down. I felt like I let myself down. But after that, I was such a fan. These guys were an awesome band, good people, and they were coming to RCR shows when they were 14, 15 years old. So it was one of those circle things that happened again where it's like, okay, now they're up there with us, and they gave us a spanking that night. But I had them come play multiple shows every time I'd book a show. The band is called Fire with Friends.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm gonna play.
Wilkes-Barre has so many good bands. Title Fight, them, One Step Closer. So many bands. Menzinger. Well, from a little bit from that area.
I've got the soldiers flowers I don't deserve. She smells like an angel or two. Go dear, go to hell free. There were demons, cooked like eggshells. This cool city lives in sin. I need a medication, 'cause I think I'm seeing. I need medication.
So you guys get the gist of those guys.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's almost like Sunny Day type stuff a little bit, like in a weird way. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, it seems like they took the best of the best influences and kind of mashed it together from that, because that was from 2011, I do believe. So they were just
Oh, wow.
mashed
So
all the good stuff.
are they still playing?
Not really. They all kind of settled down, got married, and kind of moved apart a little bit. I think they get together every once in a while and play, but no, not really. Richard Brian Kahn, thoughts on that?
I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
You didn't like it?
And it's bad. It's just I'd rather listen to it than look at it. Maybe that would help. But I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not. That's not my thing at all. But I'm not hating.
Would it be your wife's thing? Maybe.
Probably not either.
Oh, not even.
Maybe.
See, I always thought there was
later.
there was elements of like Arcade Fire in there, Ryan Adams, all kinds of little different.
That's maybe they have other songs I would really dig. Maybe just not that. So I'll pass. Sorry.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean that was the music. I should have tried to find something live from them. Probably would have made a little more sense.
Yeah, I like that when I don't. So I'm not going.
Yeah, no, hey, I think that's
yeah,
good.
we're not gonna lie. You guys.
That's what makes this thing good, is everyone's got their own opinion on this stuff, which is nice, you know. GW Foley saying it's good, just not my speed. Interesting. Maybe it is one of those things. It's acquired taste. Maybe I just saw him at the right time live, and it just
Could be a live band thing too. Like I definitely get like where they were going. You know, much like last week's episode when we heard that band's first song that had like other elements like that. I kind of felt like there was some like not emo elements, but if you saw it, because like the first section kind of gave that vibe, and then it kind of got it like the verse kind of got a little darker, which kind of made it smooth out for me. But like if I just heard a clip maybe of that first section, I might have been like, eh. But it got me. It got me there towards the end. I mean, I like Motion City Soundtrack, so I mean sometimes that band sneaks in with something like that, you know. It's kind of weird.
yeah, real melodic. I get it though. It wasn't obviously. It came from more of the indie rock kind of side of things, and especially for that time period. So, but nonetheless, really good people. So I was, give them a shout out on this.
I thought you were gonna say Title Fight for a minute. Did
Oh,
you ever
no.
play a show? Do you ever play a
No.
show with those guys up?
No. So we'll keep it moving. To kind of keep with the rockabilly theme, there was a band that we toured with multiple times. It seems like we'd always go out as a headliner, even though River City Rebels were never really a headlining act, because our fan base, it was solid, but it certainly didn't, it's just because no one would take us out. That's just how it was. So you had to go out and tour. So we would go out. We'd always bring this band right here. And this band's called Seven Shot Screamers from St. Louis. Wonderful rockabilly band. And having these guys as allies and friends over the years was a perfect band to kind of travel with and just get fucking drunk and have a wild fucking night. We got kicked out of a few clubs together. It was always a good time. So I'm gonna play these guys and get your impression on these. Let's see what you think. Here we go.
It's called In St. Louis. Good again. Here with you in St. Louis. The best to say without misunderstood in these times. In these eyes. About why we tired, but still we are. Back of the bus, fell in love with the freak. Said it's a cold, secrets are told. So I just keep rolling on here with you. It's a new, it's a cause being without you was so easy. Being without just can't do every night. Cause I'm on the search for something I may never receive. The opportunity came here with you in St. Louis. That silvery twinkle of skyline of blue in these hands. Fill the air. Baby, I'm sure somehow I come on my city so strong. Have all alone, so I just keep rolling on. Here with you.
Yeah, this band's the best out of the three. That band's the best out of the three. They get it. They have, in my opinion, they get it. They kind of have that style, like Stooges. I mean, like, yeah, I could hear Iggy Pop in there. I could hear just like the Killers, the like kind of early Killer stuff. That's just kind of weird, but like you're following along, but it's like it's kind of a strange path, but you're on the ride. You know what I mean? And also songwriting stuff and like the drummers singing and everyone's getting. Yeah, that was the best. That was my favorite of the three so far.
Richard Brian Kahn, you were digging that?
Yeah, man, that was dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The bass player was cracking me up, man. He looked like Cliff Burton up there.
we called him Nigel because it was like Spinal Tap shit.
Rules, like they all look pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Actually, I think my wife would dig them. Actually,
Yeah, they're
checking that out.
wonderful, wonderful band, and it was one of those things where it was a perfect complement to what we were doing. It was enough difference there, but we had the common tie of just bringing some heat.
They look
And, like-
so like but they're so calm with the music. But they look like it should be.
Well,
It's like a
the
medium calm.
the singer of that band is he's now doing a new thing called Clownvis.
Clownvis?
Clownvis.
Clownvis. He's Elvis as a clown essentially, and he's on ICP's label.
Wow. Well,
No.
for him,
It's legit. Like he like tours with those guys. He
will buy that.
it's
Well,
all comedy stuff. It's like parodies of Elvis stuff. But
Can you bring that up?
yeah, I can. Give me 1 second. I'll pull that up. For you.
The funny thing is like he's got the whole he's got the whole rock and roll look. He's got the Stooges and the hat, and he looks like straight from fucking the Motor City rock and roll scene. But now he's like
He's got the arm movements. They're all doing a good job in that band. I like it.
Yeah, no, they're like I said, they were on point as far as just they had their shit together, and they should have been a lot larger too. There was one of those bands that never got quite over the hump, and just wrong time, not the right place kind of deal, which was it was kind of heartbreaking. It looks like we got a live performance here.
Wow, this is gonna be awesome.
All right, here no, not a live, but a video. But we'll see some Clownvis right here. You like this?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
oh my god. Video sick so far.
I know where I'll go, baby, when I die. I know where I'm gonna spend my afterlife when I die. I'm gonna haunt the Clown Motel.
Yeah.
It's sweeter than heaven, hotter than hell, and told upon the manor where my soul will dwell when I die. I'm gonna haunt the Clown Motel. Some people think the afterlife is lonely.
Holy flex.
But if my spirit dwells in the place that I love the most.
It's fucking insane. That was
So-
wild.
And
This
he
is cool.
started, the best part about that whole thing was he started on America's Got Talent.
What?
Yes, he performed. And I was like, he comes out and he does his bit, and like you could see all the makeup. I didn't know what he was doing at the time. I'm like, man, that guy sounds and looks really kind of familiar. And then I
Right.
finally put it together. It was my buddy Mikey from Seven Shot Screamers. He got into a fight with Sharon Osbourne. He was calling them all out. I was like, the clips on YouTube too of him on America's Got Talent.
Oh man.
We need to get him on here to interview him.
Oh, Mikey would be down.
That's pretty sick.
That would be sick if he even like dressed up like that.
That was a cool
I know
video.
that's the hard part. It can't be a short process putting everything
We'd have
on.
to pay him for
That-
that.
That's a cool video though. Oh, Ryan's calling you out, Dan. What's next?
Because now you say Methods of Mayhem. I bought the CD the other day and we listened to it on the way to work together. And oh my God, is it bad? So bad.
Ew.
It's like if Limp Bizkit and Korn had a baby.
Ew. I'd rather listen to Limp Bizkit. That sounds
Next band on this list is a band that we once again toured with a bunch, met them on Warped Tour, and like it was like love at first sight. It was crazy. Like we just instantly bonded, came from the same place, musically, and around the same age. And I ended up getting the guitars tattooed. His name is tattooed on my arm, when we were on tour, having a good time. This band's called Madcap. And it was hard to find some footage of these guys because there's not a lot on YouTube, but we're gonna play one of the clips here I was able to find, and we'll talk about it.
Madcap's great. How you doing, Luke? Yeah. I've always loved Madcap, man. I've been a Madcap fan since I was like 15. For real. Always loved that band.
Richard
Great.
Brian Kahn?
pretty tight. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
haven't heard of it or anything, so this is my first time. But if I was there in the crowd, I'd be like,
you'd be digging on it. Well,
about it, yeah.
do you remember the Bopper and the Quarantine Dreams that I did, that project during the COVID where I did like the band with a couple friends?
Mm-hmm.
It was the bass player and the drummer from that band were
Nice.
doing that with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Still got good connections. That's great.
yeah, I mean, it's weird. You've played with bands before. You just know it's like there's this like brotherhood that it's like you're bonded. It's like if I ever went and was in those areas where they're at now, I would have a place to stay, no problems. I haven't seen them in years, but it'd be like, no big thing. It would just be picking up where we left off.
Yeah, man, Madcap's awesome. And on top of that, like they did that split with the Boss Tones too. That's kind of cool too.
Yeah, well, they were on Side One Dummy, and they ended up getting the boot because they played this real bad Practical Joke on the label.
Really? What? I've never heard about that. Yeah.
They told the owner of the label that the building was on fire. He didn't take too kindly to that, I guess.
Holy shit.
They got dropped because of a prank.
That's pretty. That's not even a really bad prank. And like, you know, I mean, it's really not. It really wasn't like. That's not really that like. Didn't like throw a rock into this guy's Windows house or guy's house or something.
And then I called up Victory Records like as soon as I knew they were dropped, and I was like, Tony, you need to sign these guys, and he signed them. That last record was on Victory Records.
No shit, I did not know that.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was me. I did that. So we're down to the last band that I have. And these guys, like, this is beyond just playing with a band, touring with a band. I mean, half these guys were at one point in the River City Rebels.
I know this band.
And like it's family at this point. These guys are family. This band's called Worthless United from New Jersey. We made friends with these guys randomly. We both opened up for Catch-22 years back, and instantly kind of hit it off and started trading shows. Went to Canada together, and they witnessed me pissing all over the stage. And they fell in love at that point.
They fell in love at that point. You sure that was when they fell in love?
Oh, they were. They were like, "What the fuck?"
We're at one point one of the members lived in like Western Mass, I feel like, or somewhere in Massachusetts. You sure?
Yeah. No.
Well, maybe I saw them in Massachusetts. Maybe that's where I saw them.
It's quite possible, but we'll play this. Their drummer was in RCR for the Keepsake album. Zach Kaplan, the guitar player, has been on multiple records. He did a lot of the art for us.
Keepsake a lot. That's my favorite one, dude.
Which one?
Since your birthday, Keepsake is.
Oh, Keepsake of Luck. Yeah.
Of all your stuff I've listened.
Well, I appreciate that. Well,
not anything else, but
this drummer is on that record, and the guitar player is the one who designed. It's his photo on the front. He did the layout, and so we'll play this now and talk about it a little bit.
I am nothing. I should be everything. I should be everything. I am nothing. I am nothing. I should be everything. I should be everything. I'm a god-carried member of the next generation. Living organism to my savvy marketing. You tell me what I want. It's a product. Your circus plummeting. Patented individuality. I am the product of an education and life that teaches to be presentation. You judge me on the test. Standardization. By the slaves of the clarity. I'm not talking no factory. I will not bow down to me. I'm counting on you. I don't want to be. So watch me as I walk away. Hey, 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 hey. Well, I'm the biggest media sensation. Every vote counts, don't let you go to waste. No one likes to lose them, so I'm voting for the winner.
Worthless. It's great. Worthless United's great. I've seen you guys play with them at least once, I think, down the line back in the day.
We did a show with them where it was just me and Brandon, and we played as, what was it, Worthless City Rebels. So we mashed the two bands together, and we did half sets of each of our material all together.
That's pretty sick.
What bands do that? Like that? It was just like, that's how close we were. You know, we still really close to those guys. Richard Bryant Con, pretty good, tight band, right?
Yeah, it looked awesome. Like I like the. It reminded me of like house shows I played, like those rooms type like that. That people are just like going nuts in front of you. And
Yeah,
I mean, small, but,
they were like the kings of the house show scene too. In every little VFW, like they would just headline all of those shows in Jersey and just destroy it.
some of the house shows my band's played are like memorable, like because just nuts. Like,
yeah, same. It's been crazy. Some of them
usually on another level. I mean, hopefully for the best part. But no houses burned down or anything. It's crazy to see people moshing in people's living rooms and stuff like that back in the day.
Yeah, There's nothing better than a good house show.
And
But-
no holes in the wall after the show.
Grand Champ, any more thoughts on Worthless United?
Worthless, dude. I mean, that band was right up there, you know, because like when I was in high school, like some of the first punk I got into was like, you know, like Clash, you know, like 77 style, like, you know, like Rancid, like that, like, you know, the punk rock, like very like upbeat sing along stuff. And that's why I got to be a Rebel fan at a young age, because these are the bands that you just, like you said, going back to the house show thing, you just grab the mic. Like as a singer, you just, you know what I mean? Like it's just like they wrote same type of stuff like the Rebels, like sing along stuff. You know, like that song right there. Super sing along.
Well, and we were so close with those guys that what would happen is they would release a record, and more or less we'd be like, "Oh, so you just upped the game right there. You just upped the game." So it's back and forth with us, like to the point where it was really competitive, but in the proper way. You know, it's like
Right.
both bands are pushing each other to be better and like even more progressive on what we were doing, thinking outside the box. And it was hand in hand really with those guys.
Back and forth, yeah.
They were stealing tricks from us. We were stealing from them. It was just
You learn from bands that are good.
yeah, and it pushes.
We need
pushes
to do
you.
a little of that sometimes. Like that'll help us a little bit. You learn.
And it's okay to say like what you said earlier in the episode, like, fuck, they killed it. You know, like we weren't there tonight. You know, there's been times too where it's the same way.
I've
Where I'm
seen
like, we should have done way better. And then
I've seen opening bands blow away most
yeah.
bands on stage metal wise. Like, and we're like, Jesus Christ! Like they're first. Like who put them first? Because you know.
You set the tone like that, it's like sometimes it's just oh fuck.
Really good. Yeah. Just depends.
And it's weird too, man. It's like so much goes into a rock and roll show because like judging the room, how the room feels, sometimes like people are ready to go right from the start. So sometimes playing first sometimes gives you that, all right, fuck, that vibe is going. People are, you know, sometimes, man, I'll be honest. I mean, I saw Bad Religion play like, you know, at fucking like midnight, and I'm like, I'm ready, but I'm tired. You know, it's like one of those things that like you play that for. And another thing I've always liked about house shows, and especially playing in hardcore bands, playing first is always been for second has always been great because if the cops call, if the cops called after you get played, I hate to say it, but you played and you had fun and people were going nuts. You know, you're playing 10 o'clock, you're playing 10 or 11 at night at a house show. You're probably going to get the cops called, especially that late.
You want to be first or second at any house show.
Yeah, you do.
Unless everybody's there, that's unless Hatebreed's playing your house or something.
I mean, everyone thought that was really selfish sometimes. Like, oh, well, you guys just want to play. It's like, well, yo, like if you drove a ways, you're like, if one band's not playing, it's either the local band or the traveling band. Like, I'm sorry, it should be the damn local band taking the back seat. But
it's
that's
funny
just
here.
me.
It's funny here because when my band started touring and stuff, then local bands would be like, will you headline our show? Or like, like we'll play first or second, and whatever. Like no. It was just kind of weird back.
A lot of people get weirded out that people
We're not playing last
leave
at your show.
People get weirded out about people leaving and stuff. But here's the thing, like, it's just one of those things that it's a shit. It's going to go either way. People, especially on Friday, Saturday nights, if you're past, that's why I'm a huge fan of the 3-band bill. 3 bands, get them all rocking. 1, 2, 3, started at 7. You have the energy for all, and even if they play a half an hour set each, your energy levels, you're good.
Yeah, house shows rule.
3 bands, that's all you need. 4 sometimes, but 3 is like perfect.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta
nothing worse than
begin-
showing up to a venue and there's 7 bands and you're the headliner and you're like, man, this ain't gonna end well. The only way it's worth it is if they're like, here, here's $300 guaranteed,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, all right, well, give me the money up front because
We're like
that's the only reason we're playing last because
Ballyhoo to do that to us locally here before they like were real super popular. We've heard of Ballyhoo. They're like a ska band. I don't know,
Yeah.
like Sublime type band. They played locally here years ago at the College Bar, and they knew like we had been playing there, and they knew we drew like packed the house. They're like, we want them to play, and we're like, we're not playing last. And they're like,
Yeah.
but still, that it was cool. It was like such a mix of like death metal heads and ska heads, and they all enjoyed the whole show. So it turned out actually good.
Yeah,
They
so
were
sometimes you do luck out.
So we're like, no, like, so all your people leave.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes it's like just the vibe can connect it all.
Yeah, they were definitely trying to do this, but it worked into both bands' advantage, actually. So they're cool guys too. Just weird. What a weird show that was.
Breaking Benjamin are from his hometown.
Ugh,
They play
Wow.
a random dive bar for the townies.
I forgot that name. Like, man.
Well, you know what? A couple years ago, you could book Marcy. Was at Marcy's Playground for like $1,000. Just like
Like,
give it,
Fair.
dude, it's like yeah. And Breaking Benjamin's probably the same way. Just give us $1,000. We'll go play.
I mean, they're still massively popular. So I don't know to who, but to someone.
There's a lot of those weird like
What's that
like-
band called? Hinder? They're terrible.
yeah,
Hinder?
but like it's so
Really
funny.
bad bands still.
Seether.
See there.
Seether,
But
Hinder.
there's a scene for all that, like Fozzy. Like there's a big like Fozzy following, and it's just because it's like the rockers, like they're the rockers, like you know what I mean? It's like but people love it. They love it. They're like, you know, the girl that's like 40 and divorced and going back to the bars to hit the handle, like Fozzy, Cindy, like that's. They're like, I'm back, baby.
It's like
It's
I like
weird.
3 Doors Down.
It's like I'm back.
Well, it's weird because all these people they started with Motley Crue for them, and then as it went on, like it just kept going. But
They
then
just
it like
kept
skipped
it.
over anything good after Motley Crue, and then turned to like Seether, Breaking
Right.
Benjamin, Hinder,
Hate here too.
All that shit.
what is it, Hollywood Undead or whatever. It's
Oh, they're
Oh,
yeah.
so
So
bad. It's so bad. And then the
Black
thing,
Brides.
but like, they're just true believers. And the crazy thing is that they buy crazy amount of merch. I think these bands like stay alive because these like, you know, drunken 40-year-old something are like,
They're
Here.
no ICPs. Like, you gotta get on ICP level. All these shit bands. Start.
five
Get
finger
on that
death punch.
Boogaloo
There's
tour.
one of them.
You want to make some money.
NG's right. He's right.
I met all those dudes on their tour bus when they were in Motograder. It's real weird. Before he was Death Punch.
You know, I
Motograder
mean,
not good.
Five Finger Death Punch is like the best example of what that like rock scene is now. It's
That singer took that though to make some money though. He dipped Motograder quick. Their guitar player is from here, so that's why I saw them a couple times. What my friend's band opened for them a few times. Motograder. I don't know if anybody remembers Motograder. I looked them up. They all wore like the tribal white and black paint, and the bass player played like these big steel strings on stage that's called the Motograder. And then it kind of like deformed after that, and then he went to Five Finger Death Punch. So look up Motograder. I'm not kidding.
oh, I believe it. It sounds like a lot of commitment right there to the gimmick.
I watched it on stage. I'm like, what the fuck? He like beat him with like I don't know what he was using, but he had like 4 strings like a bass running across, but they're like steel strings. I don't know, dude. And they're all like, you know, painted up, had dreads, and sound like porn type stuff. You know what I mean? They're like new metal, basically.
We used to have bands like this around here, man. They were so fucking bad. There's one that was like Downplay, this band called Downplay. And they like won. They won like when I was a kid. They won this battle of the bands, and everyone was like, "Don't play, don't play." And I was just like, "All right, all right, all right,
All right.
all right." And I'm not saying my bands were fucking that a bag of chips, but Jesus. Speaking of that, we got to do an episode where we all talk about our old bands. We have a couple laughs on some of the stuff I've put out. But when you're 16, whatever.
I got
Yeah,
albums. I can't even put those on here with my friends. I think they're on MySpace. Can you get? We can't put space on here. That won't work.
Some of the,
But that
that's
God, but
some of it that'd be actually really funny. Yeah, I've got shit on there too.
my band had mad plays on there, and we didn't pay for them either, so that was tight. I remember everybody was paying for plays and
Oh yeah, that shit back
money
then.
for your page. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, man, that shit you buy like at fans and shit.
We would just play
Yeah, it
with
was it.
bands. They put us in their top whatever for a week, and we get hitched just off that. It's always cool. 21.
It's funny how that used to work, right?
You help each other out that way. Like people just listen to you. It's that easy.
Yeah, you know how many fucking friendships and relationships ended because Susie had Jim before Destiny had, you know, like on their top 5. Why's that bitch in front of me in your top 8?
NG, I'm gonna say that that's a good question. I would say probably traditional.
I don't think I've seen that one.
The
Sisters movie?
well, I think Rob Zombie's is
Never mind.
working on it.
Okay.
That's probably
Dylan has
I did like his Halloween remake, the very first one, I think.
Dylan has a question. What are your guys' it's your guilty pleasure, RBK?
I love techno. Well, my wife said, like, it's not called techno. Like, she's like, you sound old when you say that, but I'm always like, I just like beats. So anything that's like has that in it. I just call it techno. I'll just like bass it down because there's 1,000 genres of fucking everything. But I like The Knife a lot. I listen to a lot of The Knife and Fever Ray. If anybody checks that out.
It's pretty sick. How about you, Dan?
I mean, I still love ska music. And, I know that's not cool to say, but I just heard the new Big D and the Kids Table single, and I love it. It's the same feeling when I was in high school and saw them live. So I still love ska music. I never gets old to me.
I would say that too. I mean, I have been known to. It's not even guilty pleasure, but I get a lot of shit for liking, and I know probably why, the Gaslight Anthem. I know.
I have
Can't
that
help it.
arcade.
Can't help it.
I
Can't
have
help it.
of that. That's a lot better.
I've seen Crystal Castles live, and I'm definitely a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about weird kind of dance music, kind of punky. It's a DJ beat maker kind of thing with a female fronted, and she's just going for it, screaming. It's good. It's really
great arcade game too.
We're down to our last minute, guys. So, any final thoughts?
You know what? What if we? And I don't know if it's possible without getting flagged. But what if the people in the chat one episode gave us bands to look up on YouTube, and we gave some feedback? That'd be kind of fun. Maybe we can't play them for super long, but maybe
20, 30 seconds. Can we play videos?
I think we can get away with playing just about anything that isn't like on a big label.
Yeah.
Or if it's live footage, we can probably get away with it.
So was it
last week we got flagged?
Last week, how did the first video was flagged, right? Last week.
I think it was. Yeah, it was.
They just took the whole thing down from that 1 minute you played it. Or so.
Yeah, just went, I think it went silent, and we were just talking over it. So I guess
That's great. You never know, I guess. Kind of what it is. But those are all robots doing that anyways. You know. You find that shit.
yeah. Well, I like the idea of definitely trying to have some people send some stuff our way. We got eventually got to set up a Facebook page and some way to kind of like siphon. You know, obviously there's not a ton of people watching, but you know, to kind of build this stuff up, make it more communal. I guess we need to work on that.
It's like those robots just trying to take their money and everything. And you can.
And you know what? Even if they do flag some of them, they'll still get our opinions of what we think about them. So either way, we win.
I bet that band would have been stoked to watch that, to be honest.
So yeah, see, like Baltimore Gamer says there's a lot of like indie stuff. So like there's like if anyone can be like, what's a like kind of underground band, you know, think of a couple maybe. We can, you know, or somewhat underground where no one's gonna be like Little Bow Wow, you know.
Dark Disciple.
John's out of here. Play that guitar, John. And I think we are too, because we're at the hour mark. So next week, yeah, we'll probably end up winging it again, but maybe we can find some. Yeah, have you guys, if you're watching this, guys, submit it in the comments. Some acts. Obviously, it's got to be smaller because I don't want to get flagged. So, you know, stuff that's local to your region. Maybe you've seen live that you're like, oh, this was fun or really bad or one or the other.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Have a good night, guys.